Hey y'all, welcome back to the ranch. I'm Jared Paul, and today there is no bonsai work to do because clearly this is the time of year where pretty much all you do is watch the weather to make sure that it's not going to drop too low, and make sure that your plants, get proper nutrition, proper hydration, and just let them grow. Let their trunks grow, let them grow out. There's no more pruning to be done, and there's no repotting until spring. So I do have a fun little project. I'm not sure if you've been following this channel, if you recall, but we had 6 chickens and a duck to begin with. And then we got off the pond this summer from paddleboarding, and someone had left 2 baby chickens. They were like teenagers at the time, just left them there. And so, we asked a few people that were in the surrounding areas. They said, no, probably somebody just dumped them. Like, no one just brought their pet chickens to the park. So the huge heart that my wife has, her and Franny scooped them up and we brought them home. So it's actually our first rooster ever. Normally we just get feminized eggs or guaranteed females for laying purposes to enjoy their eggs. But now we have a rooster. So Carl is his name, and Carl and Petra are the 2 that we brought home. And we've been keeping them separate from the rest of the flock because if you don't have chickens, you may not know that pecking order is truly a thing, and the original flock will tear the 2 new guys apart because for whatever reason they don't belong in their mind. So there's a couple of techniques where you spray them with a diluted apple cider vinegar and water to get them to kind of mingle and be together. But what we've decided to do is actually keep Petra and Carl separate from the rest of the flock. So we're going to build a little coop inside the coop down there with some recycled pallets and some old chicken wire of ours, and give them their own little lover's nest. This way we know that Petra's eggs are potentially fertilized, and they're like a little husband-wife combo, and we keep the rooster away from the rest of the hens. So not bonsai, but some fun yard work to be had today. So that's what's coming up on today's episode of Jarhead Bonsai. So last thing tree related that I did, Laura helped me carry up this weeping cherry from the Japanese tree garden because, yes, I still only have one functional hand. And carrying a big ass pot like that used to be very easy, but for some reason I decided to break my hand. Anyways, so this thing was a few feet taller, and I just gave it a nice big chop. I actually used the loppers with one hand and put the other side against my neck to cut it because, once again, I only had one hand. But I was thinking maybe I could do like some sort of fun planting here in this bathtub I found for free at my neighbor's house, just out there, like, take it if you want it. So take it we did. So I'm thinking that it might make it. This part seemed very healthy and the other part was terrible. So I'm going to repurpose the soil from some of the tomato plants because we finally broke down all the tomatoes. The chickens had a field day eating all those greens this weekend. If you have chickens and you haven't given them tomatoes yet, try it. They absolutely love it, and they lay like 3-fold the next day. So I'm going to repurpose some of this soil. Laura was yelling at me to let her help and to not do it, but she's inside now, so I'm just going to do it because I totally forgot to cover that root ball the other night. Luckily, we're in fall, and so we're hitting like, 40 at night, 65 during the day about. So it's not like treacherous like summer where you had to water a couple of times a day. All right, I probably shouldn't be using my one good hand to carry buckets and then my broken hand to carry the phone. So I'll go ahead, cover that root ball, get it set up, and then I might add some trees to it. So it's almost like a really, really big bonsai landscape. So we'll call it like a Japanese tree garden landscape. Yes, just decided. So I got to find some more trees to add in there. Anyways, waiting on Laura to come on outside. We took a bunch of the pallets that I had around there, around the corner, just because I was anticipating finding some on the side of the street for this project, but they just weren't showing their face. So I said, all right, path of least resistance. Let's just go ahead and utilize what we have. So I guess the next step will be to open up the coop and get all of our materials inside so we can start sizing out how we're going to do it, where we're going to put it, the whole nine. What do you guys think? Because you just can't get along. I let Carl and Petra, they're in there, I let them out a couple of times into the yard to see if they would mingle well with these guys. And they go from these innocent looking little chickens just walking around, chilling, pecking, doing their thing, to absolute maniacs, like wild coyotes attacking my poor babies. And it's crazy because Carl, the rooster, I'll show you him in a little bit. He's actually, with his tail feathers and everything, he's bigger than these guys, but they don't care because these 6 and the duck, there used to be 2 more ducks and 13 more chickens, but we either had a mongoose or a raccoon attack over the course of 2 days that absolutely decimated my babies. Like, if you've never had a raccoon attack on your chickens, like, I count yourself lucky. It's horrible. I had to shoot 6 of them, actually. I guess I didn't have to shoot them, but I felt like it was the most humane way to put them down because the raccoons pin them down and literally chew off their scalps. It's horrific. It's terrible. I hope nobody else has to ever go through that. So anyways, with all that being said, these guys are like battle tested. They're crazy, brutal chickens. And yeah, so they pick on Carl and Petra. So anyways, let's get all the supplies in there and start building this little chicken palace. Okay, baby. We're giving them some, these are the skins and stuff from some butternut squash. She made some butternut squash, apple, white onion, and pepper soup today. Oh my gosh, to die for. Oh, and it had some local farm sausage. Just really, really good. So that's actually what we had for lunch. That's what we'll have for dinner. So let's work up an appetite. Stand by. Alright, so this coop is absolute madness. I have literally no skills with power tools in any way, and I lack a lot of power tools and just try to do things whatever way I can, like a typical jarhead. So if you're like an architect, a carpenter, like my buddy out in Sweden, like, don't judge. I could shoot the pimple off of a friggin' frog from 500 meters away, but I'm not very good with power tools. Okay, so to each their own. So here's Carl. Isn't he beautiful? All of his colors. And he started giving a lot more attention to little Petra over here. So I don't know if he's like just trying to rule the roost or if he's trying to get his freak on. But anyways, they've been getting crazy boisterous and bouncing around in there. So we're going to give them a little room. This we're going to close off. So it's like her laying box and their coop for nighttime. Like in the winter, it'll get friggin', chilly. And then we'll probably dig it down in the ground a little bit so it's less of a steep ramp going up into that front door there. And then we'll close it off with all the pallets you saw me move in. So, all right. So as you see, I actually cut down some trees, set them in cement. And those are like the main posts down the center here. And then we used this hardware fabric because, raccoons and predators can fit through the tiniest of holes. It's absolutely incredible how devious and terrible they are. And just kind of over time, like we had a nice little roof plan, the tarp got ripped with wind, and the thing is just, it's a total mess. But their coop is a solid, safe structure for now. So, there's one successful aspect to this. You see, we have to use a huge rock to keep this door shut. We use this hatch for for when they hatch eggs. So we go in there, and they usually lay in the first bottom corner here, not in any of the laying boxes, just on the ground. And we keep it locked up with a nice master lock because Laura thinks that raccoons can apparently pick locks or something. I don't know. She's very protective of these chickens ever since the attacks, which I can understand. And then we have a lock for this hatch right here. And this is where they come out in the morning. They come out like maniacs ready to eat. So I guess it's time to start the planning, huh, babe?
Yeah.
I did a lot of work, like trying to keep these posts vertical and with ground shifting and all that. So I'm thinking the plan was to have it over here, but I'm thinking that this monstrosity of architecture is going to become an issue. So I guess we shall see. So this is Chickpea, Smith, Blanca, other Chickpea, Dorothy, other Blanca, and Boom Boom is the duck. So I know we're really creative, but I can't tell the difference between the two white chickens and the two tan chickens, so they both have the same names. All right, now you've met the whole flock. So we're going to figure this out. Oh, she grabbed Dorothy. Is that Dorothy? No. Chickpea. Hey, baby. So we're going to try to figure this thing out. Laura is much more mechanically inclined, and her dad's an engineer, so she kind of has that brain. And I am the grunt labor that does what I'm told. So, all right, stand by. All right, so we're taking a little break. We had to order a new battery for our drill. It's charged up now, so we're going to head back down there and get back to work. But I wanted to show you my baobab, which I have self-proclaimed said this is the most difficult tree to grow ever. So this is my one of 4, and 4 out of 125 seeds, okay? And it's driving me nuts because I used the systemic granules, like insect treatment, watered it in, and it's showing signs of spider mites, like where you start to get like speckled leaves and such. However, there are no spider mites. So like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's getting ready to go into dormancy. I don't know if like, I don't see how there could be insects in the soil. I treated it, but like, you see this? Like I keep getting these leaves that are getting all speckled, and normally you go to the joint or the crotch of the branches and you'll see like tiny little webbing and orangish, reddish, brownish little specks that are the nightmare that are spider mites, but I'm not seeing anything. So it's just really confusing to me. So if you actually have a baobab out there, which I doubt you do because it seems like only Nigel and I actually have these trees growing as far as bonsai go, and his are younger than mine, so I know he can't even help me out with that. But maybe you know. If you know and you want to help me out, I would really appreciate it. All right, break time's over, baby. Let's go do some drilling. What? Well, Laura and I have been plugging away at this thing. And so let me just step out at our beautiful construction.
It's retarded.
Look, that's going to be the door. We got that shit closed in. Boom, boom. We'll wrap some fencing around here, of course. And look, I feel like it's a successful project. Granted, we used every random screw known to man and recycled wood, but I feel like, Carl and Petra got a house. And yes, I got yelled at 6,000 times about using my hand. Oh, look at this. Warrior wedding. March 2020. Yes, our honeymoon has been spent since we got home from Spain under quarantine with our 14-year-old daughter. That's so much fun. It's like the most fun ever, really. Carl, what are you doing, buddy? He will not leave Petra alone. It's like he's definitely in heat or whatever chickens do. Our new battery works well. What are you even doing?
I'm trying to get this piece up because it's falling apart.
That doesn't sound good, does it?
No.
So I got to fill these gaps in as the ramp. But we got some nice support structures going on.
It's gross in here.
All right, y'all. So before I let you go, thanks for keeping up with my chicken coop maintenance. Laura and I are doing our best. We'll get it done. But I wanted to show you, I had tried to germinate a whole bunch of Delonix Regia seeds. And initially they were part of the Planter's Choice Grow Kit. And my buddy down in Florida, he sent me a whole bunch. None of them germinated. And then out of nowhere this summer, we hit that heat spike. So I had 4 germinate outside and a bunch germinate inside. And 3 of the 4 that germinated outside, I actually sent off. One to my buddy Nigel Saunders at the Bonsai Zone. One to my buddy Bonsai J up at Bonsai J. And they're both from Canada. And then one to my good friend Ian out in Belfast, Ireland. And I really noticed a crazy difference in indoor Delonix germinated and outdoor Delonix germinated. The outdoor, as you see, it's indoors now because it started to drop down. It's very short and it's got some nice ramification already. And the ones that are, they came up indoors, look, same exact type of tree, same time germinated. Look at the difference in size. Look how long and tall that's grown. So it's kind of weird. So I don't know. I guess for bonsai, if you want a Delonix Regia, you would probably want to germinate it outside so that you have that nice smaller trunk. It gets woodier first, and then it totally branches out. And if you're looking for like a full-size tree, Delonix Regia, I guess I would germinate it outside. Or excuse me, germinate it inside. So anyways, it's just crazy. It's my favorite type of tree. It's really awesome. And then one really cool thing this week is, you'll notice here, that is a 2.5-year-old Zelkova seed that decided to germinate. So that's popping up. So that's going to be a part of this plant thing. I'm really excited about it. And what I'm also really excited about is, as I'm moving up towards 1,000 subscribers, my good friend Ian at Back Garden Bonsai, he's always been about 100 in front of me. Bruce Lee's barking because there's probably some sort of delivery service coming. But Ian is 5 subscribers from 1,000. And probably by the time you watch this, he'll be at 1,000. But if you are not subscribed to Back Garden Bonsai, as long-winded as I am and as non-technical as I am, he is pretty much my polar opposite. So anyways, I would suggest check him out. He has some shorter videos with outstanding editing skills and just a really good dude. He's overcome so much adversity this year. You have absolutely no idea. So I really want to just give him a shout out, get him some support. And I'm so, proud of the grind that he put in to get to 1,000 subscribers. As you know, if you're out there and you do have your own channel, like, it's not like a lot of work, but it's consistency and, continuity. and continuing to make your brand. So anyways, congratulations, Ian. Really proud of you, my brother. And yeah. So that's going to do it for today's episode of Jarhead Bonsai. Hope you all enjoyed yourselves. We'll see you next time. Cheers.